Hello, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. It better be a bourbon.
It's bourbon.
It's a bourbon. All right, Ben, what's on the bar?
Well, we have, bam! This is McFarlane's Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And if you have a Total Wine in your area, you may recognize this bottle. So I know that Total Wine...
Well, hold on, that's a pretty broad statement. I do have 2 Total Wines in my area.
Well, we live across the street from each other, so...
But I haven't been to a Total Wine in a while.
Your Total Wines are in my area as well.
And I don't recognize this bottle. And we could do the video through this lightly colored bourbon.
You think that's super light?
It's pretty light.
Well, it's probably not terribly well aged. So this one is, if you don't have a Total Wine in your area, I know it's not fully nationwide, but I feel like it's in it's in enough states, in enough very, very populated states that a lot of people will.
We should probably explain what Total Wine is for those.
It's a big box liquor store essentially. Yeah. You know, it's a kind of, for our area, it's the Walmart of liquors. In the sense that they tend to have very reasonable prices, but they're the big box store, not the local guys.
And they also kind of have their own brands.
Yeah, and so that's what I was gonna get at. So mediocre cork pop.
Synthetic cork.
So this is one of their. Now, they don't necessarily make their own.
It's probably sourced. Like, I don't think they actually produce it.
They have a thing called Spirits Direct, and I don't know exactly what that means, but they have a bunch of brands that are almost exclusively, if not completely exclusively, Total Wine.
Yes.
And they all have the Spirits Direct
discount price
tag with them. And Total Wine promotes the shit out of these bourbons.
They're enthusiastic.
Yeah, and this is one of them. So this is one of their newer ones. I think I paid, it was less than 20 bucks. Yep. This is a wheated bourbon, I believe.
You're kidding.
And it is
90 proof.
90 proof. And I don't know
3 years.
Age a minimum of 3 years. So it's a budget friendly. It looks nice.
It's got a great looking bottle.
Looks nice on the shelf. But they have a whole series. Like if you go in there, you'll see these big displays of all these different, bourbons you've never heard of before, and they're all dirt cheap, and they really, really promote them. And so I wanted to grab one of those and just try it out and see, like, hey, is their budget stuff any good? Which kind of gave me the idea to actually, we should just get a bunch of those bottles.
Is this a good idea? You know what? We've got a little bit of money sitting in our Patreon account. Why don't you take the money from our supporters and let's do a flight?
Yeah. Do like a whole flight of just
the
Total Wine
budget.
Yeah.
Spirits Direct whiskey.
Well, to be honest, when I first started drinking bourbon, and I believe I've said this in other reviews, like I was really looking for reviews on budget-friendly stuff because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on something that I didn't know if I was going to like.
Makes sense.
Now at this point, I like so many different things I really don't care. But I would have really loved if somebody would have done a video like that. So I really think we should actually do that.
Yeah.
So maybe this weekend we'll get together and grab a bunch of those bottles and try it out. But in the meantime, this is the McFarlane's Reserve, 90 proof. This has got a lot on the nose, actually.
I'm getting butterscotch candy.
Yeah, totally.
Butterscotch candy, like Werther's Originals on steroids.
Wow. Yeah, that really is butterscotch.
It's
for sure.
It's almost butter, like hot buttered rolls. Like anybody who's ever been to a Lambert's Cafe,
I was actually
in the hot buttered thrown rolls.
Lambert's Cafe.
You don't know what that is? It's a Missouri at least thing.
Yeah, you nailed both of those. I mean, I fully agree with you. Butterscotch, and then I was gonna say there's a little bit of graininess to it in a good way, like a bready note. That's maybe that wheat coming through.
Yeah.
Because I believe this is a wheater. But yeah, I'm getting total butterscotch on this.
I'm trying.
Yeah, let's go for it. kind of falls apart on the palate.
No.
For me.
So,
it's not bad, but it's weaker than I was expecting. The nose is great.
It's funny. I kind of totally disagree. I mean,
Really?
the nose is good. I actually really like it. It's maybe not the most interesting 90 proofer I've ever had, but I like the flavors. I had a really funny gag that I was gonna perform after I tasted it and assumed it was bad, but it's not as bad as I thought, so I can't do the gag.
Do you want me to like do a little cut and then insert it and we can pretend you're just...
Well, so here's the first taste. You know, viewers pretend. So the back of the bottle says, in 1791, President George Washington signed the whiskey tax into law and appointed General John Melville as the collector of the revenues. In the summer of 1794, Mayor James McFarlane, and that's the reference, I was gonna go into like the back of the bottle because there's nothing interesting inside the bottle, but the reality is I like what's inside the bottle.
Okay, well thank God you liked what's inside the bottle.
Yeah, it took me a while, but I got there.
It saved us from what could have been that whole situation.
Yeah, me reading is not such a good thing.
I'm not saying I dislike this, but I feel like I was really, really surprised at how rich the nose was, but the palate falls a little bit flat for me.
I get a particular flavor on the nose that I'm not getting in the palate.
It's not bad. There's nothing offensive about this, which is kind of... I think I paid like $17 for this or something. So definitely not, you know... I mean, it's budget, for sure. It doesn't look budget. Like I said, it looks really nice.
Yeah, they use the word reserve.
Like I said, there's nothing offensive about it, so I won't have a problem sipping my way through this bottle at all.
Do you think they make a McFarlane's lowbrow?
They actually do make a different McFarlane's, but it goes the other way. They have, for like $100, they've got a 12-year version of this.
You're kidding.
Yeah, no, it's seriously. So, yeah, I just feel like the nose gave me a little bit higher expectations, which when you have high expectations, you're bound to be let down. So I think maybe I'm kind of recalibrating on this one. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. I do like it, actually.
So, I talk about bourbons a lot as being kind of like a group of flavors. Mm-hmm. And I would say this is not the world's most balanced. Like, I feel like...
I'm not getting that butterscotch that we got on the nose.
So I'm getting a weird sweetness, which it's not specifically butter flavored, but it's kind of butter. It's like a real rich, buttery note. Mm-hmm. Not a good name for a YouTube channel. Just saying.
I'm not gonna...
But it's not as well connected with the rest of the bourbon flavors.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, there's something just kind of...
It's nice. Mm-hmm. I actually really like it. But it is a little... It needs a couple more years in a barrel. If this were a 5-year...
Well, hey, you can get the 12-year for $100. So you can get 9 more years on this.
That would be awesome.
I bet that's actually probably pretty good.
It is.
Because
you can put this back in a barrel. Does it work like that?
I don't think so. Well, then you got like a double oak, you know. But you know, this is, like I said, I'm kind of recalibrating on this. It actually does have a decent amount of flavor, and certainly for the $17 or $19, I would say it's a good buy. You know, it's not going to knock your socks off, but maybe if you're a beginner who's looking to spend a little less money on a bottle, but you want to just try something new.
Sure.
I don't think you're going to hate this. But I was so surprised at how rich and, like you said, butterscotchy and buttery the nose was, that I was expecting that to carry through, and it just kind of fell off. You know, and it was just
there,
a little,
but it is a little
thinner.
light.
Yeah, it's lighter, and it just wasn't as rich as I was expecting.
Unfortunately, the 3 years is just a little young to really bring home the flavor.
I will say this: I've got a couple other 3-year bourbons on this shelf, and I like this exponentially better.
That's
so we've got the
don't say their name.
Ancient Age and Benchmark 8. I'm saying it. I don't think, if anybody watches this show with any regularity and has seen the Benchmark stuff we've done, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't hate it, but it's very...
It's a really nice bourbon.
They're
that's
also
hidden underneath a bunch of water.
Yeah, they're also 80 proof, so there's that as well. So lower age, get a little more proof, helps that out. But for a 3-year bourbon, I kind of got to hand it to them. This is not bad.
This would struggle big time at 80 proof. It had to be 90 proof to be okay, and I actually like it. Like if we're giving it a score, it's definitely above 50%.
Oh sure,
Not a lot above 50%, but I like it. Absolutely would love to see it at 5 years or 103 proof.
Might have
or
to try
something.
that 12-year.
Yeah, well, I mean that's swinging for the fences.
So
it better be good.
Yeah, at $100.
At Total Wine, right?
Yep.
McFarlane Reserve or McFarlane?
Yeah, it's like this, but it's a red bottle.
Huh.
But yeah, I would say for the sub $20 or $20 price point, this drink's well enough to justify that price.
Totally. And I think some people are gonna really like it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I was a little disappointed at first because the nose gave so many expectations, but the more I've drank it, it's got a lot of flavor for 90 proof. Now, whether it's a flavor you like, in that kind of... Have we even discussed the flavor notes on it, really? All that in depth? I feel like we've just been saying that like it's lacking something, or it's got this, but like I'm getting a graininess to it and a sharpness to it and a little bit of heat, like a little cinnamon on top.
And I'm still getting a little bit of the butter, almost artificial butter at this point.
Yeah, like I feel like we talked about what it didn't have.
No, I'm getting that though. I mean the sugar, like a brown sugar note, pretty light. It's there, but the toasted barrel flavor is pretty light.
There's a little big red gum in here, I feel.
Wow.
I'm getting a little bit of that on the aftertaste of it.
Wow, that's a cool note.
Which is not terribly uncommon in a younger age. It sounds weird, but like with some of those grainier ones where I get a cinnamon note,
but it's a cinnamon from the barrel.
Yeah. And I really actually like that. So this one kind of has that. So
yeah.
Anyway, before we ramble too much longer on this, look for that flight video coming up if you're still watching. But this has been McFarlane's Reserve on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Cheers.
Somebody's killing somebody upstairs.
I hope they win.